Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use, for purposes such as criticism, comment.
Members only, man. Real members only. You dig what I'm talking about? What's up to me, peoples? I'm back with another exclusive video reaction. This particular video reaction right here is of that man, Young Jeezy, man. You know what I'm saying? Young Jeezy and Snitched, you know what I'm saying? On Kingpin, Big Meech, you feel me? I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? Federal agent exposed them, though. You know what I'm talking about? So, I mean, it's going to be get real sticky. A lot of people felt, you know what I'm saying, that he had already done so, you know what I'm saying, due to the fact that it was a RICO on all the people that was around BMF, and he was one of the people that never. It's been a topic, you feel me what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Hey, and his name was in the media before, you know what I'm saying, with the Gucci Mane, you feel me? And everybody wanted to know who was the real individual, who won that battle. We know who won the battle, but a lot of people still sided with Jeezy at the time because they didn't really know a lot of the things that they know now. So with that being said though, man, make sure you like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. I'm going to jump off into this segment. I'm going to stop and go, and I'm going to give y'all my...
Young Jeezy has been outed as a rat, has been outed as a cooperator. This time, he wasn't outed by Blue Da Vinci or Gucci Mane, his usual outing. No, he's been outed by the FBI themselves. The snitching allegations on Jeezy is actually centered around the two biggest storylines of his career, his beef with Gucci Mane and his association with BMF. Back in 2005, when Gucci Mane and
Jeezy was beefing hard too.
Their beef actually led to somebody being murdered, a man called Pooky Lo of Jeezy. Now, the publicized story of this is Gucci Mane caught the body in self-defense. However, Gucci Mane was initially charged, then it was dropped due to self-defense, and we learned all about Gucci Mane's legal troubles due to this murder. But what's not told is that murder of Pooky Lo actually got Jeezy on the Fed's radar. And the Feds actually blame Jeezy more for that murder than they blame Gucci Mane. If you guys are kind of blurry about what exactly happened between Gucci Mane and Jeezy, let me, redraw your memory real quick.
With Gucci Mane and Jeezy leading the way in Atlanta rap, it was only inevitable that a collab would come soon. In 2005, Gucci Mane and Jeezy would record 2 songs together. The first song was Black Tees, which was a response to Dem Franchise Boys' hit song White Tee, and the second song was So Icy, or just Icy. So Icy would go crazy in the streets almost immediately, and would then be featured as the main single on Trap House 1. The song was such a massive hit that even high schools across the country banned the iconic snowman tee that Jeezy wore in the video. But as time went on, rumors surfaced that Jeezy may have been upset with how things went. Although it's still not 100% clear why Jeezy was upset, we can assume it has something to do with the fact that he wanted the song to be on his upcoming album. He quickly took to the studio to release a diss track titled Stay Strapped, where at the end of the song he would put a $10,000 bounty on Gucci's So Icy chain.
Real talk, I got a bounty on that shit, 10 stacks, man, you know Jeezy pay.
Jeezy would start to distance himself from Gucci and cause some strain on their friendship. Gucci would also get upset at the fact they could never perform their song live.
So you see how they have said over the coming years or whatever, you feel me? And for my city, man, we is off that So Icy, man. That thing was slapping. I'm so icy, all these girls inside it. Ooh, I know they like it. I'm so icy. So I say, bah, bah, and my chain on my neck and it ain't the edge. 250 in the grill. Everybody was off that though, you feel me? So on G.O.D. though, man, you know what I'm saying? I could see what the fuss was about, you know what I'm saying, who album was on, because everybody knew about that too though. If you was from the streets, you know what I'm saying, that's when rap hip hop was something, at least as we seen it, you feel me? People were serious about a lot of stuff, and like people was tuned in though, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna keep it a band with you guys. Like, that song was played everywhere in East Oakland though, you know what I'm saying? And that song was slapping even afterwards for some time. You dig what I'm talking about? So you feel me? It is crazy though, you know what I'm saying, how things took place. But now that I'm thinking about it, like, I wonder if you guys can think of it like this, you feel me? Off the rip, was he already an informant before? like, cause I forgot what year the song came out. You feel me? What I'm saying? So look at it like this. This is my question. Do y'all think he was an informant before the song? Or when everything happened, when it came down to, you know what I'm saying, the big Meech situation? Or just say if he was already somewhat of a snitch, you feel me what I'm saying? That was probably why the song was being banned certain places, you feel me? That just come to mind now, you feel me what I'm saying? So, you know, because when you dealing with the feds, they...
Over the coming weeks, the petty beef would turn into something much more. One summer evening, Gucci would go home with the stripper after a party, just a month after the So Icy hit dropped. 5 men stormed the home where Gucci was staying, armed with pistols, brass knuckles, and duct tape. They would get into a physical altercation, pistol whipping the stripper and hitting Gucci in the face. One of the men allegedly yelled, "Shoot him." Upon realizing his life was at risk, Gucci shot back. Some people say he reached for his gun, where other stories say he may have disarmed one of the men and took his. He shot the gun, killing one of the men as the others ran off. 3 days would go by until someone found the body of the deceased man in the woods behind an elementary school. When the smoke cleared, authorities identified the man as Pooky Lo, one of Jeezy's prodigies under his CTE label. After 9 days, Gucci Mane would turn himself in, claiming self-defense. He released a statement saying, he's not a murderer, but he was scared for his life, and he had to be a man about it.
For some reason, Jeezy has always maintained his innocence and denied that he sent men to kill Gucci. He's always says he's innocent. However, the fans wasn't buying it, Gucci wasn't buying it, and the feds weren't buying it. Stay with me, okay? At this point in Jeezy's life in 2005, everything was going downhill for him. His homie died trying to kill Gucci. His crew that he was rolling with at the time, BMF, well, they got indicted for a RICO. Now, everybody got indicted but Jeezy. And a lot of people was very confused about that because even Blue Da Vinci got indicted. And Blue Da Vinci, you can probably make an argument, was around BMF just as much as Jeezy was around BMF. Well, Blue Da Vinci did a Ken Capone interview a couple of years ago. And during this interview, Blue Da Vinci broke down how Jeezy got out of being indicted with BMF when the feds initially came and indicted Big Meech and everybody associated.
Grocery store at the line like, ooh, old white lady, do you know that Gunna told you was a bitch? Like all that shit, bitch ass shit. I'm cut from a different cloth. I'm cut from the cloth that you got your information on whoever is the rat. And you got it in black and white and you understand what went on with such case or whatever, you feel me? So, you know, when it come down to me, it's just different.
Was Jeezy in the paperwork?
Hell yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's public information. You can look up right now on your phone. Man testifies about Jeezy's cocaine selling. Type in your phone something like that, you're gonna see.
The rip though, I'm gonna say this though, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? Hey, for years everybody wanted to know, did Jeezy tell? And I mean, you know, keep it a band though, a lot of people already leaned towards he had told. I don't know if it was exposed heavily like that because, you know, once people feel like you're a rat and they going through a RICO, they don't even want to be bothered with you. They ain't even trying to make you feel no worse than what you already feeling, you know what I'm saying? Because then you're going to say what is more than what you need to say by anyway, because you already didn't start off like that, you feel me? So, you know, an angry person is like a female sometimes that's in their emotions, you know what I'm saying? Definitely when it comes to us men, you know what I'm saying? Let your shit hang though, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And stand on 10, man, you know what I'm talking about? But Jeezy, man, it's really a lot of speculations, you know what I'm saying, of a lot of stuff. His name been in the media of like, did he tell and all that. And I don't even think he really even ever like really defended himself. I think when he did, it was like some bland, like some petty shit how he tried to defend himself, you feel me? But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like looking at it now though, you feel me? Like Gucci Mane was being targeted more, you feel me what I'm saying? This could have been a reason why a lot of things was going on how it was going on, you feel me what I'm saying? Even with the Blue Da Vinci thing, I ain't seen no paperwork on nobody, you feel me? But then again, you know, for them to be on Blue Da Vinci, you know what I'm saying, it's like the whole time maybe, you know what I'm saying, they should have been on that man Jeezy. But then again, it be crazy like that though, because it could be multiple people telling, and you don't know who getting down like that. So you gotta just, keep your head on the swivel and play it by ear. And the way that the feds is working nowadays, and how they been working, it's just always been some cold game though, you feel me what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I don't know what made this really come back up. But you know what I'm saying, we don't really get to that situation, you know what I'm saying, because a federal agent exposed this man. And he could have been pissed off that he didn't, win the whole situation with Big Meech. And then I noticed too, a lot of federal agents, a lot of these police, they're playing it raw and uncut, you feel me what I'm saying? They trying to they really exposing things. So, you know what I'm saying, they ciphering stuff back up so people could know this, people could know that. And on top of that, so it could be more violence going on in the communities anyway, because they get paid off of it. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? We live in a time where people are waking up at different times. People are starting to get the bag in different ways, so they ain't tripping like they used to.
One of the who named it Lights, Ralph Sims, the same that told about the limo that tried to say I told. Ralph Sims, Ralphie. Told on Jeezy, told everything Jeezy ever did. Jeezy had 12, Jeezy had more statements on him than me. What you talking about? But nah, he didn't get indicted because he did some more other shit. I feel like that. I know some things he did, like he turned Meech cars into the feds. That same Porsche truck and that Ferrari I was talking about a while before, he had came to Miami and doing some lie detector tests about this gun case he caught one year in 06 when I went to go meet him. We had a shootout, not against him, but some other, like when me and him start trying to talk, some other popped it off with us and we end up having a shootout. And he ended up going to jail for a gun. If anybody is familiar with that Miami case, him and Twin came back to do a polygraph test supposed to be for that shit. And the security said that the Meech cars pulled up on flatbeds, nigga, into the federal building when he went and did it, when he was inside for his meeting or whatever. So I know he turned in the cars. Ain't no telling what people be doing, bro. That's all I know he did. And then he told about the gun case that was already thrown out at the state level, and then the feds picked it back up. So everybody look up Big House. You look up Big House. He was a security for Jay-Z. He was a security for Big Meech. He was also a security for Young Jeezy. Jeezy put the people on his ass, and he'll let you know. You look him up, he talking his story, and you got all these people with these accounts of these people that's out here. Sorry, y'all, I just be the bearer of bad news because 10 years go by and people act like they ain't never heard nothing, don't know nothing. Like, hold on, the selective politics shit gotta stop.
If you look at that BMF indictment, they were indicting people, I'm talking about at the low.
Just because they was trying to get on crack.
Right, you was claiming BMF
Jeezy
RICO.
Dang.
There were people on that case who did 2 years or 3 years for low level involvement with BMF. But Jeezy, who was with BMF on a daily basis, was not charged. Now, this story has been told by Blue Da Vinci and other members for years, but because they are at a point in their careers where they aren't as successful as Jeezy, it's always been looked at, man, they hating. Now, Blue Da Vinci would also will also give another point, in his interview. At the time he believed, or where he began to think, oh yeah, Jeezy is cooperating with the feds, was with the records and the contracts, right? So Blue Da Vinci was trying to get off the ground, trying to get the music hot again. He had a record with Jeezy. Now, Jeezy was supposed to clear the record, sign the contract so it could go. He dropped the record and the record got pulled from the radio. That's because Jeezy never signed the contract. And he pursued that. And you're about to hear him explain how the pursuit of trying to get Jeezy to sign that contract led him to think, oh, you're cooperating.
And I pushed the record out. It was on Koch. It was getting promoted and all the shit. It was getting promoted correctly. All the numbers was right. I was 300 and some spins a week on my BDS at the time. And I got a call from my team. It was bro, they talking about, it was a Tuesday. I think it was a Tuesday, if I am mistaken. I was on the road on my tour bus, and I got a call from my team, and they said that on Thursday, in 2 days, they gonna pull the record from radio if they don't get Jeezy and CTE signature. They wasn't signed off for the record. So I what? I'm all right, hold on, bro. Let me call this and blah, blah, blah. So I called it. And this wasn't the first time I called him about that. It was already mentioned before they dropped the shit. So they dropped it and we still didn't have the signatures. And I think it was dropped on good faith that we was going to get the signatures from Alan Grunblatt at Koch. They got the shit. They worked it out with Clear Channel or whatever. So, you know what I'm saying? So the record could stay up there and they was telling her they going to have the paperwork or however it went. But them motherfuckers, I called Jeezy. He swear up and down to God in heaven. He signed off and all this shit. But I had my signature. Then my signature for BMF Entertainment as the owner. Then we had Alan Nim's signature from Koch. Then we had John Jackson, which is Fabulous, Fabulous, the artist. Then we had Skane and Clue for Desert Storm was signed off. I had those signatures. I saw them with my eyes. Then I think I had, at this time, was Jay Brown's signature from Def Jam. He was the vice president of Def Jam at that time. I believe his signature.
Man, that right there is some cold business because obviously the feds was talking to that man, or he took it upon himself and was like, bruh, I don't even want to sign off on this music because it's going to still implement me with BMF. You feel me what I'm saying? And since I didn't get picked up with the RICO, it's only obvious that he's covering up and he's trying to, you know what I'm saying, stay up under the radar because he's cooperating with them people, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't take no rocket science, man. And I'm gonna be real, like you say, and like he said, and like a lot of us already assumed a long time ago, you feel me what I'm saying? Bruh been working though, you feel me what I'm saying? And it's sad because at the end of the day, you feel me, you know, a lot of your favorite rappers, a lot of the people that you think is them boys ain't even them boys. You know what I'm saying? Some of these people that went to college, some of these people that got picked up by the feds, so they really the police, man. But they put this Asana out there and got the youth going crazy. And at the end of the day, you feel me? That's why you see all these young kids and young babies, they get to voting too, though, you feel me? Because they already, you know what I mean? They get to voting because that ain't in him, and that ain't even in the person that's putting his energy out there to begin with. It's a cold game, though, because, you know what I'm saying, I was always taught, though, you know what I'm saying, you do the crime, you do the time, you dig what I'm talking about? So, you know, at the end of the day, the best bet nowadays, period, and it's been that way for some time, exactly with myself, is if you're going to do a crime, do it by yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what nobody got going on. I don't care if it's money on the flow. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be able to do what you do and stay with yourself and your own well-being. That way, you feel me what I'm saying? Hey, you know, what looks easy don't be easy sometimes. It's always a catch-22. And sometimes, hey, you don't even got to be that a person going to get down on you. You could just be, you know what I'm saying, just not a good play. You feel me what I'm saying? And you got to move strategically and move at your pace.
Signature was on my record for Def Jam.
He gets tired of calling Jeezy because Jeezy is clearly giving him the runaround. He don't understand why Jeezy don't want to clear the record. So he tells Jeezy, I'm going to pull up on you. Now, when he pulls up on Jeezy, when they're talking, an altercation broke out and a shootout happened. They never really got to finish their like conversation.
Yeah, that was some police
Jeezy
shit.
ultimately does like a polygraph test for the incident to prove that he was not the one that shot, and like he fought a case for it, et cetera, right? But at the conclusion of this, Blue Da Vinci came to the conclusion, oh, Jeezy is cooperating with the feds, and the feds is probably telling him not to do anything to help out BMF or else he will get indicted.
The next day I talked to him like, bro, where you at? I'm just finna pull up. I left my tour route and drove the bus all the way to Miami to go have a conversation with Jeezy about the record being signed off. And that's when that shootout happened that I was just talking about previously. I went to talk to him about that record. That's what the conversation was about. I was coming to meet him and confront him about the shit with all of this shit with me. And before, as soon as we start talking, Tula was walking down the street with dreads and they're like, oh shit, there go Jeezy, dog. And they're like, oh, and Blue, that's Jeezy and Blue, nigga, that's BMF right there, nigga. Oh, bro, let us get a picture. And then my little cousin twin, big twin, he like, oh, nigga, they ain't taking no picture. You see they trying to talk? So the little like, and then the twin fired him Boom. And that's what started that shit that ended up to the shootout. And me and him never talked about the record right there because that fight turned into a shootout, turned into we all ran, turned into Jeezy got locked up for the gun. And then later on, Jeezy went back to have a polygraph test about that situation. That was all about that day I went to meet him to talk about why he ain't signed off on my record with me, him, and Jeezy, and they pulled it from the radio. And I believe he couldn't because the feds had jacked him and told him, nigga, if you help these niggas, and the same reason why he couldn't do the deal with us. Same reason why he couldn't put his name on the contract, because the contract ensues help to BMF, and they struck his ass down and told him they were going to put your ass in prison. If you continue to help Big Meech and Blue in that BMF shit, you're going to fully pull away from that shit. Like, there ain't nobody else stopped quitting the mob. He the only in history that just stopped claiming the mob.
Up until this point, it's been a theory. It's been one of those things that just floated around. People essentially came to the conclusion, man, these is hating niggas trying to tear down Jeezy, who's a successful black man who done beat the streets. All right, these ninjas is hating. Well, a former FBI agent who was actually tasked with investigating this RICO and indicting Jeezy on a RICO, he spoke. Now, apparently, when Pooky Lo got killed by Gucci Mane, and it was believed that Jeezy sent Pooky Lo to him to murder or kill Gucci Mane, and it just backfired, the federal agent would say, yo, they had witnesses, they had wiretaps, they had everything. They were seconds away from indicting Jeezy on a clear-cut, open and shut RICO for the murder of Pooky Lo. Kind of like how they did with YFN Lucci, where YFN Lucci went sliding on the ops. His homies hop out, start shooting, the ops shot back, the homie died. They charged YFN Lucci with a RICO for his homie's murder. They was going to do the same with Jeezy. But the FBI agent would say something very odd happened that stopped all of that.
Yeah, I'm not going to say the guy's name because he's pretty famous, and to be fair, he was never charged with a crime. But we had these two rappers in Atlanta in the early 2000s, and they were beefing with each other, trading diss tracks, the whole thing. Then rapper number one, the famous one, orders his goons to go beat up rapper number two and steal this gaudy gold and diamond necklace he wore in all of his videos, and that's where it got interesting. The goon squad shows up at rapper number two's place. He pulls a gun and starts shooting. One of the attackers gets hit, makes it about 200 yards away from the house before he drops dead. Rapper number two is arrested for murder, but is dismissed as self-defense. And the real criminal here is rapper number one, who ordered the violent act that got his man killed. I had the phone records of two witnesses prepared to testify for what would have been a rock-solid RICO murder case. But for reasons that were never explained to me, the U.S. Attorney's Office declined prosecution, and rapper number one went on to have a phenomenally successful career. Oh well, win some, lose some.
Obviously, he's implying that Jeezy told, because the feds just abruptly abandoning their plans to charge someone with a clear RICO don't just happen without some sort of cooperation. However, in the comment section,
look, this clear as day right here, man. Either that man retired, he's mad that he didn't get to solve that case, that RICO case, that he for sure he said he had 100% evidence against, and somebody that's higher up had to step in like, look, we might to use this cat for this and that. This cannot happen. And it just, you know, it didn't work out in his favor, you feel me? And that could have been a case of his history of working for them people, though, you feel me? And because now this man is retired, obviously, he's speaking on it. Man, it's so crazy how, you feel me, what I'm saying, things can happen, and so later on down the line, you know what I'm saying, shit come out, you know what I'm saying? That's why they say patience is a virtue, man. And it's sad because, you know, the typical niggas be quick to say, man, that nigga just hating. You know what I'm saying? To disguise a lot of stuff that be happening, and the whole time, though, this nigga's a rat. You feel me? Like, you gotta really be mindful. People be really articulate and very smooth with how they getting down on people nowadays, especially since snitching has became cool. Meaning to say it's just been happening so much, people ain't getting themselves knocked off, and you know, people use the word, which it is over with. The streets is over with. But that don't mean that you as a person and what you stand on, your principalities, you know what I'm saying, has been overweight. You know what I'm saying? That means, you move differently if you're going to function around the streets. You move differently, you know what I'm saying? If something come up where you feel like you have to be, you know what I'm saying, a person that could go down or something like that, or have to get down with somebody. It's a cold game, man. And it's like, you know what I'm saying, it's no unity in nothing no more, man. You feel me? People are for self, you know what I'm saying? You gotta really wake up and really smell a coffee, man. You know what I'm saying? The strongest gonna survive and the weak will not. You feel me? So with that being said, man, I stay sucker free, man. I'm talking about dummy dodging these niggas.
He only liked and responded back to 2 comments. The first comment he liked and responded back to was Jeezy and Gucci. And he says, I mean, you said it, I didn't. Playing it coy. The other comment that he responded back to and liked, also playing it coy, was, well, the BMF theory. Somebody commented, so Jeezy cooperated with the feds on Meech, so when this happened, he got a pass. That was what was being implied in the video. And by imply, I mean the FBI agent knows exactly what happened. He knows exactly what the theory is. And he knows this is the truth. And he responded back and liked it. And he says, interesting theory. I guess now we have our answers. I guess now we know why Jeezy was never charged when BMF was charged, even though literally any and everyone who was rolling around calling himself BMF got charged. Literally any and everyone, bruh. Now we know why. And now we know why exactly Jeezy was never charged with the RICO for his homie being murdered by Gucci Mane. But y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this, all right?
Honcho, I was rich then, but you ain't even know it like Rocco. We don't keep score, we just keep on scoring.